Hello. Alright, this is the second video of the Subaru Forester Hybrid, and this one I'm going to be focusing on the 11.6 inch vertically slanted center console, as well as the digital and analog cluster display. It's a bit sunny outside right here right now, so bear with me in case you don't see the driver's display. So the middle bit, digital colorized, is around 4 inches diagonally, and it basically at the top gives you a showing of the stats. 29 degrees, the time is 1:33 p.m, the temperature outside is 29. Again, just repetition, no connected devices. I do have wireless Apple CarPlay connected. I'll show you right there. There we go, like it's all there. And the next one, I'm using the left hand side to toggle through this, by the way, is an animation of where my power is coming or going, and then my average fuel, so 11, so it's giving me around 9 kilometers per liter. I'm like in standstill. It's the car is on, AC is on, and so that's probably on the lower side. Getting here, I did get it down to around 9 liters, so that means it was giving me around 11 from a 2.5 liter engine. So far so good. This is another mileage. This is the total driving time, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But on the left hand side here, you have a power gauge, so charge, eco, where you want to be driving, and then power. And then way at the bottom though is your temperature of the fuel and everything, which by the way can also be seen via this here, like water temperature normal, oil temperature 87 degrees Celsius, average speed 14. So that's a nice touch to that. Then depending on how much you rev the car, the dial is going to go all the way. Then at the bottom you have a D for drive. That's where I'm in, so I'm going to keep it in park again and have the handbrake disengaged. The notification on the right comes up and goes. AVH is for the vehicle to stay put right now. And then on the right hand side you have your speedometer and your fuel gauge. So considering I have about half a fuel tank, it's showing me around 320 kilometers. No, I completely missed that out. So half a fuel tank up on top, 150 kilometers till empty. So on a full tank, probably 300 kilometers plus is probably what I'm going to get, give or take. Again, the moment you have easier driving conditions, your mileage just instantly goes up on this. This second, that's not showing me anything. The mileage on top is going to show you it in real time depending on how much you have your foot put in, but the other mileage here is more an average. As you can see, I'm at a standstill. It's been 3 minutes, car's been idling, it's slowly creeping up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Driver's display, again, all of that was accessed via this side on the left, your multimedia controls too, and on the right you have a sports mode, you have a steering heating button there, and then you have your intelligent mode for more fuel economy here, and then these are your eyesight controls, like how far you want it, how sensitive you want the calibration, and then you have a horn in the middle, pretty loud banger. You have paddle shifters here for like gear changing in case you want to bring it down to drive and then stick it to the right to a manual side, but let's keep it back in park for now. Then on your left hand side you have your headlights, auto, and then you have your fog beam down there, and then high, and then your indicators. Then on your right hand side you have your, well, this is for your back, but your wiper controls are all on the right hand side. So I'm going to turn all of that off, and also you can leave it in auto if that's your case. And yeah, that's pretty much it on this. But on the right hand side you have your window controls, your mirror controls, and EV only mode, boot opening, the adjustment of your boot, and then your headlight angles. Oh sorry, this isn't your headlight angles, this is your driver's display. Oh, this is so much better. I wish I'd done this, but sorry. Power gauge, digital part, and then your speedometer, and then here you have your, well, I'm in trip A at the moment, 21 kilometers. The car is driven. There's a trip reset button here, 320. So you have 2 ways to keep it. But yeah, moving on. I think this is what we're all more interested in. Sorry if there's going to be a bit of glare from all the sunlight, but I do have my sunshade closed. It's still not helping. There's a sunglasses holder. This is to open your sunshade on the outside. This opens. I'm going to keep it in. It's hot. These are LED lights. You do have a door light setting, so in case I open the door, the lights are going to go on. Oh, and forgot to mention, memory seats 1 and 2, and then you can set it via this button on top, so that's cool. All right, sorry, diverging. 11.6 inch center console, gets decently bright, wireless charging pad with a on and off button here. Usually don't see that, but I guess this is a Japanese thing. Gear lever, EPB here, 12 volt socket, 120 watt here, storage space down here, pretty deep by the way. And then another glove box, and I have my tech pouch in there, my drones down there, so like good copious amounts of space. Oh, this is what I forgot to show. Aux, USB-C, and a USB-A port in front, so that's really nice. Okay, finally. There's a dedicated home button here. You have dedicated HVAC controls on the left hand side and right hand side because it is dual zone. Defrosters in the front and back, your volume rockers here, your tuner here, and then long press for turning off everything, and then you have your emergency hazard light there. So these are also static, by the way. At the bottom, the AC controls, the fan speed and everything. You can open this up into like a bigger dial if that's your case. Your wind direction, your max AC, your auto AC, your air circulation, all can be configured via this down here. So it's a very analog sort of digital thing, but I just like that it's thick screen static buttons, I guess. And then I guess what I'm trying to show you next is Apple CarPlay right away. It is a bit like scrunched up, I think. I feel like it could have done a better way. I've put contrast really high at the moment. I should probably lower it. I'm gonna open settings first of all. So you have your general settings. So just going from the top, you have a clock setting here. You can change it to 24 hours, and then you have a display setting here, contrast setting. I'm gonna bring contrast down so that it looks better for the eye. Your Wi-Fi settings, and then your Wi-Fi security information, our reminder screen, maintenance, birthday, anniversaries, really cool stuff. A pin code lock if in case that's what you want. I'm not going to set it for this new car. A meter screen, and then you have your camera, so rear camera, delay control, steering angle line. So basically when you are in, let me shift this into reverse for you. It's going to show your reverse, and then it's going to show you guiding lines on either side. All right, back to park. Climate control button, and then you have language. What languages do you have on the Subaru? Well, you actually get quite a lot. This is way more than what I'm seeing in most cars, so that was a good surprise. Welcome screen, goodbye screen. You can add widgets, a birthday list in case you want to add an anniversary list, so good reminders, software updates, factory reset, open source information. What about on the sound? 10 speaker Harman Kardon system with a banger subwoofer at the back, notification volume, beep sound settings, beep sound volume, call volume, SMS, voice volume, last audio volume, memory. Cool. And then my phone settings, so manage device, Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay is what I have on. All right, that was this settings. What about this phone settings? It's going to show me like which phone to connect to and stuff. All right, radio. That's your radio layout here. Going back to the home, your media. I again don't have my Bluetooth connected. It's wireless Apple CarPlay, so it's not going to show anything, but I can toggle between USB and then Apple CarPlay here in case I want to play music. All right, heading back. Then my phone is going to open up Apple CarPlay, most likely, yes. Then my apps are going to open Android Auto, there you go, and CarPlay. Then settings done, car info, what all, so driver statistics, it's showing me the tilt, incline, angle, and everything. My maintenance statistics, everything is new right now, so nothing needed whatsoever. You have a display off button, turn the screen back on. Okay, that was nice and easy. And then a pin code lock. What's on the second? Auto vehicle hold. So auto hold here, vehicle dynamics control here, and then you can add shortcuts. So radio, media, phone settings. Again, nothing out of the blue. A very simple, easy, sort of intuitive thing here, I'm not gonna lie. Then you have a driver profile you can add. What does it do? So the language, the name, and the phone. I thought it saved like your height information and stuff, your memory position. And then here at the bottom, this one is a car control. So this is your home. You press this for car control. So even if you're in Apple CarPlay, this bottom part is static. So car controls. And so this is where more of your vehicle ADAS, eyesight, and other settings are. So you can quickly get into X mode via this top toggle here, X mode. Then your oil temperature, water temperature, average speeds, your media playing. Or you can go into this button down there in the bottom left. So vehicle dynamics control, X mode, normal, deep snow mode, snow dirt. Cruise control, acceleration standard, how you want it. Auto vehicle hold, steering responsive headlights. So it does dip the headlights a bit here and there. Then driver assistance, or your ADAS, your eyesight related stuff. Pre-collision braking, forward collision warning. And then lane departure, prevention, warner buzzer only or all functions. Rear vehicle detection, you can turn that on and off. Then you have more settings, so more warning volume, I'm going to keep it to a minimum. Units, then vehicle control. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, a very easy, intuitive screen with like a lot of buttons and everything. And once you get a hang of like where what button is here, where what button is there. I am using the steering heating function, by the way, and it looks to me at the bottom there isn't any heating, but here and then especially up here there is, like where you hold your hands, and then at the top it's like slightly heated, but then again here towards the side, I guess Subaru really wants you to hold the steering wheel in this like 9 and 3 sort of situation. And then not so much down here at the 5 and 8 p.m. Although there is a bit heating here. I'm going to turn it off. That's a really neat feature. I'm not seeing any seat ventilation heating sort of situation, but that would have been a great add-on, but it's good enough. Anyway, that was a quick walk around guide of the infotainment screen for the Subaru Forester Hybrid. Again, 11-inch center console display here with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So because it's auto wirelessly connected, it's just so much easier to like use. Although sometimes I have noticed it does sort of lag a bit, but I'm not sure if it's this or it's my phone. I do have an iPhone 15, so I'm not expecting anything laggy, but anyway. And then here's your driver's display with most of your information that you need. Alright, if you have any questions or comments, just let them know. Alright, if you have any questions or comments, let me know them in the comment section down below, and I'll try to help. See you next time.